Good morning, ready for yoga today. For today's class, we're going to use 2 blocks at the end. If you don't have blocks, you can absolutely use like 2 pillows or 2 blankets. So just a heads up to grab those. So 2 blocks for today's class at the end. And then we'll check in again at the end of class about that and give a chance to go grab those. And so if you have those near you, you can just scoot those towards the back of your mat. And today for our class, we are going to give a lot of love and attention to our neck and upper back. So we are going to start in seated. So go ahead and find a seat, and as soon as you get your blocks, if you're going to grab those, just go ahead and join us and find a comfortable seat. This can be sitting cross-legged, you can be sitting back on your heels, you could even be sitting in a chair if sitting on the ground does not feel good for you. So we are going to start just by finding our comfortable seat and checking in with our breath. So optional always to close your eyes. And take a deep breath in and let it go. And notice where your air went on that breath. Take another deep breath in and exhale, let it out. Let everything this morning, everything in this past week go with every exhale. Take another breath in, and on your exhale, let that go and feel your shoulders melt down away from your ears on the exhale. We're going to continue that for a few more breaths. So breathing in, send your air to your tummy, and on your exhale, feel your shoulders melt. Breathe in, send your air to your belly. On your exhale, feel your shoulders melting down away from your ears. Now we're going to start some seated cat-cow. So arch your back, look towards the ceiling, not looking directly up, but up to where the ceiling meets the wall in front of you. And then exhale and round in. Inhale, look forward, arch your back, feel your shoulder blades coming back in together. And as you exhale, round in, looking towards your belly button. Then inhale, look forward, squeezing shoulder blades down and back, feeling a stretch in your tummy. And exhale, rounding in. Now we're going to add our arms with this. So as you round in, we're going to clasp our hands together and stretch our hands forward away from us. And then as we inhale, look forward, bring your arms to a cactus position and stretch your chest forward. Exhale, hands come together, reaching forward, away from our bodies. And then inhale, look towards the ceiling as you goalpost your arms, feel a stretch in your chest. Exhale as you round in, back of your hands and your back of your body stretching in opposite directions. And then inhale, look forward, bring your arms back in space as you bring your collarbones forward. Wonderful. Now we're going to gently stretch through our neck. So take your right ear to your right shoulder and let your right shoulder be heavy. Don't bring that shoulder up to meet your ear. And let your left shoulder muscle get a nice stretch here. Take a few deep breaths here. Feel both shoulders be very heavy. With this one, it doesn't matter how far you go, just to get a good stretch on your left side. And then turn your head to look down towards your right armpit. And then let your head be heavy here to get a little bit of a different stretch along the back of your neck. You might feel this one going towards the shoulder blade. Breathing here. Again, letting the left shoulder be very heavy. Good. Bring your head back to the middle. And then left ear to left shoulder here. Notice any asymmetries in your body. Let your right shoulder be heavy here. Feeling a nice stretch in your right shoulder. And then also feel your left shoulder be heavy, melting away from your left ear. Hold in this stretch and breathe. Next, then, turning your nose and face down towards your left armpit to get a little bit of a different stretch here on the back of the right side of the neck. And let your head be heavy here. Letting the right shoulder just melt down towards the ground. And on every exhale, think about a little more muscle tension leaving your body. Now we'll gently take a few circles to each side. So we're just going to do half circles towards the front of our body. So start by taking your head to the right, down, forward, and around to the left. And then back around again, this time from left to right. Down to the left, and back to the right. Moving slowly here, noticing all the different sensations at each point in the half circle. And let's take one more in each direction. Good. All right, so now we're going to meet in a tabletop hands and knees position. Now we'll take some full body cat-cows. So starting with cow pose, drop your tummy, look forward, and then cat pose, round in. Look in towards your belly button. Inhale, look forward, shoulder blades come down and together. And exhale, round in for cat pose. Inhale, look forward, stretch your collarbones forward. And exhale, rounding in. Inhale, look forward. Feel a nice stretch in your tummy. And exhale, round in, reaching your back up towards the ceiling. And then come back to a middle ground. Now we're going to take puppy pose. So walk your arms out in front of you about a foot, and then sink your chest towards the ground. Our hips are staying over our knees here, and then rest your head on the ground and bring your hands, your arms are out straight in front, palms facing each other, and then start to melt your chest towards the mat. So forehead is resting. You'll feel a stretch in your armpits here. You might feel a nice stretch in your upper back. And think about sending your sternum, your chest bone down towards the mat. Hips stay lifted here. We're not sitting back like in child's pose. Breathe here. Sending your air to your tummy. And every exhale, letting your chest sink towards the mat. Slowly walk your hands back under your shoulders. And then here, tuck your toes. Walk your hands one hand width out in front. And then lift your knees. And then lift your booty back into your first down dog. Press your shoulders away from your hands, pressing through your hands nice and strong. Reaching up out of your armpits. And then alternate bending one leg and straightening the other to get a good stretch through the back of your leg. Hold the whole time staying lifted through our hands, feeling shoulder blades spreading across the back. Good. And then lifting our right leg high. We're going to step forward into a low lunge. And then lower our back knee down for Crescent Moon. So rising up, back toes untuck, lunging forward into our front leg. Go ahead and place your hands on your right knee here. And lunge forward until you feel a stretch on the front of your left hip. Engage your left glutes to feel more of a stretch there. And just work on keeping your balance at the line in the center of your body. Chest is nice and tall here. We're looking forward, out in front. And then sit back, walk your front leg forward a few inches, inch it forward, and then find a half splits. So here, rise up on your fingertips, and then straighten your right leg back as you sit your butt back, and feel a nice stretch on the back of your right leg as you bring your right toes towards your knee. If this ever feels hard on your knee, you can double up your mat so that you have extra cushion under your knee. Then what we're going to do is we're going to rise up, place your hands on the left side of your right leg, so inside your leg, and then swing your leg out to the side so that it's we're on the inside edge of your right foot, and then rise up onto your left knee, and here we are in gate pose. So right leg is extended out to the side, straight out from where your left knee is, and then we're going to feel a nice stretch on the inside of our right leg. We're tall over our left knee, we're not popping our hips out to the side, and then we're going to reach our left arm high and reach over to the right side. Your right hand can be at your hip, it can be resting down, reaching towards the ground. And feel how as you reach over to your right side, you get even more of a stretch in the inside of your right leg. Rise all the way back up to tall, standing tall, not side bending here. And then we're gonna walk that leg again forward. Frame our foot in a low lunge, tuck your back toes, lift up nice and strong, and then step that right leg back into down dog. Reach those heels towards the ground, while at the same time lifting your hips up towards where the back wall and the ceiling meet. Reach your left leg high this time, and then step your foot through to a low lunge. Drop your back knee, optional to fold your mat over, untuck your toes, and then rise up for Crescent Moon. Hands on your left knee here, and then gently lunging forward to feel a stretch in your right hip. Engage your glutes on your right side, and you'll feel a nice stretch on the front of the hip. Think about, again here, melting your shoulders away from your ears. Notice if you're holding any tension there. Some days it's almost like every minute we have to remind ourselves to let our shoulders melt away from our ears. We hold a lot there without realizing it. And then sit your hips back, straighten your left leg for a half splits here. Feel light through your fingertips. Most of your weight is still in your legs here. And then gently draw your toes back towards your knee. Feeling a stretch on the back of your left leg. Breathing into any tension that you feel, remembering not to hold our breath throughout. Good. And then on this side, taking our left leg out to the left side, straightening it, and then kneeling tall on our right knee, and then getting a stretch on our inside of our left leg. Reach your right arm over to your left. Left leg is straight out from our right knee, and your bottom arm can be reaching towards the ground. Hips are staying above our knees here, not popping out to the side. And then rise back up, reach that leg back out in front, and then frame your foot for a low lunge, untuck those toes, and then step back into down dog. Reach your heels towards the ground, alternate bending and straightening each leg. Good. All right. Right leg reaches towards the ceiling, and then step that leg strong through. Keep it lifted towards your chest as you reach it through, and then into a low lunge, and then rise up here into a full crescent pose. So bending into our front knee, back leg is straight and strong, feeling a stretch in your left hip, arms reach up strong overhead. Think about knitting our ribs together, keeping ribs in instead of flaring up, keeping tummy engaged. And then bring your arms down by your sides into airplane torso here. Torso comes forward so it's in line with our back leg. And arms are at our sides, palms towards the ground, shoulder blades squeezing down and back. And then feel really strong through your right leg. We're going to push through our back leg up to single leg mounted. Hands at heart center. Left leg is lifted. Right leg is strong, engaging through right glutes. Feeling as we engage our glutes an outward rotation in our whole right leg, like we're screwing our foot into the ground on the right side. Then find your favorite tree pose. So left foot can be at your ankle, left foot can be touching down on the ground, or at your right inner thigh. Find your tree pose, and again here, really engage your right glutes to be strong through your right leg. And find your balance. It's helpful to find a spot to focus on the wall in front of you that's not moving. And then start to lift your left leg back to single leg mountain. So knee lifts out in front of the hip. And then straighten the leg, reach it back behind you as your upper body comes forward, reaching into warrior three. In warrior three, our arms reach up above our head, biceps by our ears, as our back leg reaches up towards the ceiling, straight and strong knee, heel reaches towards the ceiling, toes pointing down at the ground. The right leg is doing a lot of work here, still staying strong through those right glutes. And then rise all the way back to standing. Set that left leg down and then shake out your right leg. Come up on your toes of your right foot and feel a nice stretch through the bottom of your right foot. All those little tiny foot muscles that just worked really hard. And then back to mountain pose. And then fold all the way forward. Find a halfway lift, straightening our back, shoulders squeezed down and together. And then hands on the ground and step back into down dog. Feel the difference between your right and left leg here. Right leg just did a bunch of work. Maybe feels a little tired, maybe a little sore. And then lift your left leg high. And then strong tummy. Lift your leg forward into a low lunge. And set that leg down. Good. Rising up into crescent. And then back leg, right leg is straight and strong, reaching the back of your right knee towards the ceiling, and engage your right glutes to feel a stretch on the front of your right hip. Reach your arms up overhead, and tummy engaged to keep our ribs knitted in and avoiding them flaring up towards the ceiling. Good. Upper body comes forward as our arms come down at our sides into airplane. Shoulder blades squeeze down and together. Strong through our legs here. And then push through your right foot as you step forward up into single leg mountain. Right leg is lifted, hands at heart center, and then finding tree on left side. So place your foot at your ankle, shin, or inner thigh, and then feel strong glutes, hold you steady here. Again, that idea of outer rotation in the left leg. So in this stance, it would be like a counterclockwise rotation of the leg as we engage our glutes, or like we're screwing our foot into the ground in a counterclockwise direction as we turn on those muscles. Falling means that you're challenging yourself an appropriate amount. So if you fall out of this tree pose, just come on back into it. If we can hold everything perfectly steady and never wobble, that means that we're not challenging our balance enough. So we want to do it safely, but stepping out of this because you lose it is not a bad thing at all. All right, and then back up to single leg mountain, right leg out in front, lifted, and then start to slowly reach that leg back and straight. As your upper body comes forward, arms reach up, forward, one long line from our fingertips all the way down to our heel on our right side. Right toes reaching towards the ground. Back of the right knee presses up towards the ceiling. As we reach our hands up towards the ceiling as well, keeping them in line with our torso and our back leg. Rise back up to mountain, and now we'll stretch out left foot. So coming up onto your left toes, and then stretching your heel up away from the ball of your foot to feel a nice stretch in the bottom of your foot. Good. Fold forward. Find a halfway lift, squeeze shoulder blades down and back. And then folding forward again, place your hands down. Step back into down dog. Lifting through your shoulders. And then look forward, walk your feet forward to meet your hands. And then bring your feet nice and wide. And come into a deep squat here. Now if this feels uncomfortable on your hips, you can find just a regular chair pose. We don't want any pinching at the front of the hips here. You can also, if you have a block with you, you can also put that block under your bum. But bring your hands together at your heart here and feel a nice stretch in a lot of muscles that don't get a stretch because we don't squat much. Feet can be as wide as they need to be. Mine are always off of my mat in this pose. And think about just sinking your hips down towards the ground. Feel a nice stretch in the muscles around your sits bones. Think about having a tall back here. All right, place your hands on the ground, walk your feet together, and take a forward fold here. Grab opposite elbows and let your body sway side to side. Take your feet as wide as your mat. And take a little side to side movement here. Good. Release your hands. Step your legs back into down dog. Reach your right leg high. And then we are going to step this right leg through under our left leg, and then we're going to turn our back foot onto the inside edge and reach our left arm up towards the ceiling. So this is Rockstar Pose. It's like a variation of a side plank. And we're lifting our hips towards the ceiling, strong lifting out of our right arm. And then left hand back on the ground, step our right leg back into plank, and then reach back into downward facing dog. Look forward, walk forward into chair, rise up, bring your hands to heart center. Sit your bottom back. Make sure you can see your toes here. That means that we're sitting back far enough. Feel your legs engage towards each other. And then start to twist towards your right. Once you feel like you've gone as far as your body wants to go today, open your arms so that your left arm reaches towards the ground and your right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Feel those right fingertips reaching up as you feel a nice stretch in your back. And then hands back to heart center, fold forward. Find a halfway lift, and then plant your hands, step back into downward facing dog. Now we're gonna find that same Rockstar Pose, this time on the opposite side. So start by lifting your left leg high, and picture that we're going to be sending that over to our right. So take a breath to prepare, and on your exhale, step that left leg through, turn your back foot onto the inside edge, and then lift your right arm high, reaching strong out of our left arm. Hips are lifting here, and then right hand back on the ground, left foot steps back to plank, and then back to down dog. Then looking forward, walk forward, find chair pose here. This time, turning and twisting to the left. And once you've twisted, reach your right hand towards the ground, left hand up towards the ceiling. Good, feeling a nice stretch in your upper back. Good, and then folding forward, letting all of that go. Halfway lifts, hands plant, step back into one last down dog, and then lower down to your knees. And this time we're going to take a child's pose with our knees together. So knees are together, feet are together, and then we're going to rest our head on the ground with our arms at our sides. In this one, take deep breaths and think about letting your shoulders melt down towards your mat. This is just another variation of child's pose. But depending on how our back is feeling, sometimes one can feel better than the other. But let all the muscles around your neck and shoulders melt and relax here. And just breathe and take a moment. And then slowly transition to a seated position. Take your right leg out in front of you, and then cross your left leg over, and then hug your left leg, twist and open to the left. Reaching, looking back behind you. Again, check and sink your shoulders away from your ears. Reaching gently through your fingertips, but not forcing anything here. Feel if you can go a little further on your exhales. Good, and then let's switch sides. Left leg comes out long, right leg crosses over. Hug your leg and then twist and open to the right, looking back behind you. Light through our fingertips. They're just there for support and a little bit of traction. Letting our right shoulder sink away from our ear. And then gently unwinding, coming down onto our backs. Here, figure four stretch. Bring your right leg up and cross your right ankle over your left knee. Now, if you feel a stretch here, you can stay here. If you don't, you can bring your left leg up off the ground and grab behind your left thigh. Good. Switching sides here, crossing our left leg over, lifting up and grabbing your right leg if that's what feels good on this side. Good. Letting go here. And then what we're going to use these blocks for is a supported butterfly pose for Shavasana. So you can do this definitely without the blocks and bring your feet together and let your knees fall out to the side. But if you have blocks or blankets or pillows with you, you can grab those and then put those one under each leg so that you're supported. And so that allows us to be in this stretch a little bit longer. We can rest here during Shavasana and our legs aren't, it's not too intense of a stretch because our legs aren't going as far into it. So find your comfortable stretch here, your supported butterfly, and if it feels better to just do a regular Shavasana, you're welcome to do that as well. And then once you're there, settle in, sink in, let your head be heavy, let your shoulders and ears relax. Feel all the muscles in your upper back melting into the mat, and breathe here. Place a hand on your tummy and feel your breath sending into your belly here. Taking it easy. Sending that air all the way down as if you could breathe into pelvic floor. gently start to wake up your hands, bring some movement into your fingertips and wrists. And then use your hands to help bring your knees back up towards the ceiling, remove those blocks. And then roll to your right side and use your arms to push you all the way up. Take a moment here and take a few deep breaths before you head back into the rest of your day, especially since we had some time laying down. Let your body adjust. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed our class today, and I will see you next week.